Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a screencast-o-matic presentation for the warm-ups for the part of the cycle for the template that we're currently on. Please realize that we are going to explain to you the question of the day for the lesson from Tuesday and Wednesday, and then also explain to you what you're going to write for Thursday and Friday for the days upon which we're not here. So please make sure that you open up to the correct part of the template and scroll down, and then fill in the question and the answer accordingly. Let's go and get started. From Tuesday and Wednesday, the question of the day was, how exactly did Islam spread throughout the world? Provide a list of factors and please be specific. So in this particular lesson, we looked at the rise and the expansion of Islam throughout not only the Middle East, but the world. What factors led this to be a cause and a phenomenon? Here you go. So some of the things that we talked about in this lesson specifically are as follows. We talked about the overall message of Islam being appealing throughout world history in that it was a monotheistic religion for the time, which of course encouraged other people to abandon their old ways of idol worship and or leave other religious sects, and of course combine to form a Muslim majority. So Islam over time garnered a huge following with a divine message. Another thing that was interesting about Islam throughout the Middle Eastern world is that the prophets spread and taught it effectively throughout different pockets of the Middle East and then the rest of the world. These prophets and teachers did a pretty adequate job insofar as much to say that many people began to know a little bit more about the teachings of Islam. The leaders of societies too used it in their early rule. As Islamic influence became bigger, so too did the empires as well that coincided with them. Many leaders used it as a tool for dominion and effective bureaucratic leadership. Many early leaders were very adequate at using Islam as a tool to not only garner support, but establish legitimate rule. The caliphs too also had a debate over whether or not who should be the direct descendant of Muhammad and who in fact was the direct descendant of Muhammad. This caused a controversy for practicing Muslims. In a sense, the debate was over who had legitimacy. This split was historic in the Islamic world because there's two main factions that formed, the Sunni Muslims and the Shiite Muslims. They would essentially split, and these two factions would spread and consolidate throughout different pockets of the Middle East and the world. Today, I do believe the Sunni Muslim faction is larger than the Shiite Muslim faction. And then, of course, from a cultural standpoint, we can't overlook the importance of trade, education, inventions, innovations. All these things helped to spread Islamic influence and culture not throughout the Middle East, but also throughout the entire rest of the world. So, in a sense, these types of things help spread the influence and the culture of Islam. Let's go ahead to the next part of our warm-up. For Thursday and Friday, if you guys could please write down that there's no question because it's holiday break. You will not have a question of the day or an answer. So once you're finished with the previous question and answer, you may certainly go ahead and submit that on Google Classroom. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck with completing the rest of the warm packet cycle.